Censoring the facts turns our children into idiots. They claim it's for our safety. I'll tell you what it really is. Removing information that empowers all the citizens. The truth doesn't damage points of view that are legitimate. They're trying to change amen to amen. And
ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Dion's Daily Dose. Tonight we are here with Manny Maldonado. He is running right next door in District 10. It is our westerly neighbor. Hopefully we both get elected. We can get down there, but we're going to have a chance to sit down with Manny and talk to him and see what he's going to do if elected and hopefully what we can do together. As you guys know, if you've been watching me for a while, normally I'll have the candidate introduce themselves and spend a couple of minutes talking, but Manny just wants to get right to it. He's a go-getter. So he's like, nah, let's just launch into the conversation. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to bring him on here, and here we go.
Hey, everyone. How's everybody doing? I'm excited and honored to be here on Dion's Daily Dose. I'm very excited and blessed to have the opportunity to speak to the district and just speak to the community and the people out there. And let's just get prepared for an election that's so important. And I'm just honored to be here with all of you guys today.
It's good to have you here. If anybody's watching, they had a chance, hopefully, to read the video to tell like what your background is. But let's go a little deeper. What made you decide to want to run for state representative?
Actually, it was just, 2020, 2021. It was just watching the world around us, watching not only the world, but watching all the states, and then watching the districts within the states, watching the communities, and living in this community here in the 10th district. I just had a passion to throw my hat in the ring and to actually try to be a part of something special when it comes to, we see where everything is right now, and there's a lot of negative, but there's also a lot of opportunity to be able to have success and also to have growth and also to have people come together. And actually, opportunities bring many, many, many things that we can actually say, you know what, that's something we can work on as a community. That's something that we're lagging in. So it's just wanting to be a part of something special here where I live, here where my family lives. And I've been here for 12 years now. Since 2008, I've been here in the 10th district, and I really love my community, and I just want to see growth and progress.
That's awesome. So let me ask you a question. Now we're gonna touch on several different topics, but what I like to do, I have what I call rapid fire questions, and they're completely unimportant to most people, but they're important to me because I think it's really important. The number one on my list that I ask every single person on my show: how do you like your steak?
How do I like the state that I live in, Indiana?
No, your steak.
How do I like my steak? I like my steak medium well.
Medium well. Oh my God.
Yes.
Oh my God. I used to like it.
But I do like it. I like it a little juicy and pink, but I don't want no blood in it.
Yeah. But you know what? That's how my wife.
I don't want it bleeding on me, but I do like it juicy.
That's how Liz is. She's like, no, medium well. I'm like, no. It's one of the tough points in our marriage that I'm just kidding. It's really not that big a deal. Are you a cat person or a dog person?
You know what? I'm actually a dog person. I'm allergic to cats, unfortunately, but I love them. I really do love cats. They are so I just love the way they purr when they're next to you, and I wish I wasn't allergic to them, but I am. But they're great pets. But I have two dogs actually.
Okay, all right, nothing wrong with that. I have cats and a dog, so kind of both. So let me ask you this: what is your favorite donut place? Do you like Munster Donuts, Dunkin' Donuts, or somewhere else completely?
You know what? I like Rising Bun here in Valparaiso.
Okay.
I actually just tried Rising Bun this past year, and it was different. The donuts are different. They're good. All of those places you mentioned are great. They're amazing. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I love donuts, period.
Right.
So even if I make them myself with a little bit of oil, give me some flour and some sugar and some brown sugar and cinnamon. My mom used to make the donuts for us because we couldn't always afford to go and get donuts from the donut shop. But all them places are amazing. But I like Rising Bun.
Okay. All right. Yeah, there are a wealth of really good local businesses up here that have just some phenomenal food in both 9th and 10th district. I haven't tried Rising Bun, I don't think. Where are they at?
They're actually in downtown Valpo near the University Center over there, where they have the little the little restaurants and the little coffee shop over there downtown. Yeah.
Okay. All right, cool. I might have to try them. Okay. So what is your favorite restaurant? I say burger joint personally, but either way, your favorite restaurant is okay too.
You know what? My favorite restaurant, man, we eat some of everywhere. So we really don't have no favorites. I mean, me and my wife, we love everything from Texas Roadhouse to Longhorn to all of the Cinco de Mayo Mexican food. I love JJ's Pizza. So when it comes to food and restaurants, I really don't got a favorite. I just have a whole bunch of favorites.
Okay. All right. Nothing wrong with that. So have you noticed, I know today's kind of a special day, right? It's the 15th. What is it? I had it.
Today's a very special day. Today is my 4-year anniversary, married to my beautiful wife, Gina Ray Maldonado. I've been, God has been very good to me when I started to follow him and tried to, correct my life and the way I was going. He just opened the doors, not only with giving me a great wife that's she's just a passionate about community and people and just loving people and also just the relationship. I was one that was always afraid of marriage, but it's been an excellent 4 years, and I just look forward to the rest of my life with my wife. It's been a blessing.
Congratulations, man. That's you guys' relationship is an inspiration. Every time we see you, it's like there's a special bond. Seriously, like a lot of people have, their so-called soulmate, and they say that, but you two, I mean, really, it's phenomenal to see you two work together, and the way that love is just generated between you is incredible. You can really feel it.
I appreciate that compliment, and I feel the same way about you and your wife. You guys are a very cute couple, and I definitely admire. You guys are so funny together. I always get a laugh with you guys because you guys are just such a cute couple, and I just believe that just great relationships are very healthy for people. So it's very important to choose wisely and the individuals that you come into contact with and choose to be around, most of your time, because it has a lot to do with your mental health.
Absolutely. And one thing a lot of people don't realize is before you run for office, and this is everybody out there, I want everyone to at least seriously consider running for office in your community. But before you do, make sure that your spouse, significant other, whomever, your family are completely on board with it, because it is a strain on your relationship. And if these people are not behind you 100%, it's going to have some seriously negative effects.
Oh, yes, sir. You are completely right, Dion. My wife and her passion for community and the work that we already do in the community with a faith-based ministry called Celebrate Recovery, as well as my wife working with the Narcan distribution, as well as her working in the homeless shelters and me assisting her and being able to be there to feed the homeless and spending time in the communities or parts of the community that many may not always want to, be around or be a part of. It's definitely something that is powerful to have two people that care about the same things and making progress in the same issues.
Right, and I think that people who are watching who may not be aware, you guys have been involved in this for far longer than you've been involved politically. You've been doing this for years with the shelters and the Narcan distribution and the really I hate to say background jobs, but they kind of are the things that people do that a lot of people aren't aware of that keep these communities going. They keep these things running. They keep people alive. In the case of the Narcan distribution and the homeless shelters, the food, they wouldn't get it if it wasn't for people like you coming out and volunteering their time to serve them.
I think it's just so important. I think it's almost like a prerequisite to being a public servant, because it's
Mhm.
part of public service to be out there and to love people. I think that's the most important. That's the most important aspect of what I do is love. Okay. Love is, if you love people and you go out there and you do things passionately because you care about seeing people progress. You want the homeless to be able to get into a situation in their life where they're able to educate themselves, get a trade, and build themselves up to be the new middle class, because a strong middle class is what this country is made of. Also, with the addicts and the, those that struggle with addiction, those are opportunities for people that are looking to change their lives. There are many in recovery that want to change their lives, and all they need is a little bit of support to be able to get over the hump and be able to get that encouragement from someone else that has dealt with family members. As well as in my past, I wasn't perfect either. When I was younger, I kind of, just mingled in all kinds of things, but it really made me realize that there's people out there that are struggling in addiction, and they don't have no one else. They don't have a support. They feel like their community isn't there for them. I just love doing it because I see what it's doing to people's lives. I see the difference it's making in men and women, in the ministry that we do and the community work that we do. I see people change, and I see them progress, and I see their lives go from being in the dumps to being able to be productive in society. That's amazing. And we want a strong society. We want a strong community. We want a strong workforce. So it's so important to make sure that we do not forget about those that sometimes are forgotten.
Oh yeah, absolutely. A lot of times those are the people that are forgotten, and people don't think about them. They kind of get left on the sidelines. So personally, I'm really glad that we could potentially have someone who is an advocate for that in our state house. I think we need a lot more. Do you think that the current system is adequate for dealing with people that are down on their luck, that are homeless, that are kind of between jobs and have fallen on hard times? Do you think that the system is adequate, or do you think we could do a lot more without burdening the taxpayers?
I believe that there's opportunities. I believe that there's opportunities to add to the resources, of course, without burdening the
Yeah.
taxpayers. It's very important, if we have to look at everything and group everything as like this. To have a strong country and a strong community, we need strong people. And people cannot be only certain groups of people. They need to be all groups, diverse groups, culturally different groups, to be able to come together to make a great community. Of course, advocating for the resources for those that are addicts, and advocating for resources for those that are homeless, but also advocating for business for your district, advocating to protect small business, advocating for our seniors, advocating for our veterans, advocating for our schools, our teachers to be strong, and our unions to be strong and protected. All of them together. All of them together make a core of productivity together. We can't exclude anyone. We have to do everything we can as a state and as a district and as representatives. We have to be diverse. We can't focus on one group. We got to focus on all groups because we work for all groups.
I agree. And I think that is something that both parties have had trouble with in the past, is truly, I guess, representing everyone that they're there to represent. There are certain groups that might feel more or less represented, I think, given whatever political party is in power at the time. And I think that there are ways that we can bridge the gap between, for example, union generally feels more represented when there are Democrats in office traditionally, whereas hunters, Second Amendment advocates generally feel more represented when there are Republicans in office. I think that there is a great middle ground there. Rights apply to all of us, not just to particular groups. And I think that together we can absolutely do a better job than what has traditionally been as far as representing these groups. Speaking of the Second Amendment, there is something that I think needs to be addressed because it's very misleading. The NRA released their ratings. For those of you out there that aren't aware, the NRA obviously is the National Rifle Association, and they release ratings where they rate candidates from A to, I think, F. Basically, they say, yeah, this person is pro or not pro Second Amendment. They released their ratings, and one of the things that I noticed, because I was looking for me, I'm like, hey, where am I at? Where am I at? Oh, there I am. One of the things that I noticed, because you're right by me, is, and I want to make sure everyone understands this, it has to be some kind of error. And I'm going to help Manny get to the bottom of this, because when you look at, I'm going to show you, when you look at the grades, let me share this real quick. Let's see here. There it is. Okay. So when we look Indiana current elections, we go to State House, and we go down here to me, right? Now, I am not a sitting representative, so they cannot use my voting record like they do for my opponent to determine what my rating is. They send us questionnaires. And I'm sure they sent you a questionnaire, right?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. And that's what I'm thinking. Was it even, I had so many different questionnaires, and I'm hoping that one was one of them that I did not send back in. But I'm thinking I did. Yeah, when I seen that, I was completely, yes.
Okay, so you've seen this already. You're aware of this.
Yeah, you showed me this today. And I know it's completely an error because of just the rating on there.
Here's what I want everyone to understand. So when you look at mine right here, it says AQ, right? The reason it says AQ is because it was a questionnaire. They don't have my voting record to go on like they do my opponents. Manny is just a D, which doesn't make any sense because this is his first time running for office as well. So there's no voting record there that they could use, and it doesn't say Q as if a questionnaire. So Teshka, who's the other way, District 7, he's got an A, and these are all people who are actually in office. The incumbents have actual ratings.
Mm-hmm. I see that.
Whereas candidates who have never voted get Qs, AQ. Which is really weird. So you might want to give them a call, but the reason I wanted to show this and the reason I wanted to ask you directly is you are pro 2A. We've talked about this. I know this. You are not. To think for a moment that you would get the same. Let's get back to it. Now I want to make sure everybody understands. My opponent wants gun registries. They want you to be registered. They want a list that the FBI or the ATF can refer to so that they can round up your firearms if they decide they don't want you to have them anymore. To think that you would be on the same level as that is insane. I don't know if there's some kind of, if there was a mix-up and maybe there's another Manuel Maldonado that's serving somewhere that they looked at the voting record of. It has to be some kind of mistake. That's the only thing I can think of. But let's clarify for the people out there that are watching that are very pro 2A, like I am. I mean, you see it during the intro of my show. I have the Second Amendment on the back of my vehicle. It doesn't get much more 2A than me. Please let people know why that can't possibly be right.
No, yeah, for 100%, I'm pro Second Amendment. And not only that, I look at it this way. when it comes to the right to bear arms, I've been very clear about this, and I'll be clear again. That's a constitutional response. You do not change the Constitution. You do not misinterpret the Constitution. The right to bear arms is for we the people, and no one has the right to be able to infringe upon that right. I don't even believe they can even question what kind of weapons you choose to have. So definitely, I'm 100% at all that would even be rated that way, and I'm going to definitely do some research myself to get that corrected, because that is definitely a miss typo, some kind of, it's just wrong. But no, I'm 100% pro Second Amendment, and I'll take that to the grave with me. Believe me, we the people have the right to bear arms, and no one, including the government, can infringe upon that right. And that there's a reason for us to have that right as well, so that no government can take control of the people without the people choosing that government. So that's very important. People need to understand that this is a serious thing, that those that are against the Second Amendment, those individuals they do not understand, or they probably do understand, that that's called government control. And government control is not a free country. We live in a free country. So we choose our government, we choose our elected officials, we elect our officials, and the Constitution should not be misinterpreted. It shouldn't be changed. It shouldn't be anything should not be taken or put in that Constitution that is not agreed upon by the people, all the people of the United States of America.
So just to kind of wrap that up, you believe that this has to be some kind of a mistake. There's no way that you would be less or equal footing as someone who wants gun registries. And basically, let me put it this way: I'm sure you're familiar with the fringe group Moms Demand. What is it? Moms Demand Gun Action Sense, or Moms Demand Gun Sense, or something. The Soros-led organization that basically wants to do away with your right to bear arms, right? You've heard of them.
I've heard of them. Yes.
Okay. My opponent follows them with her official Facebook page. There is no possible way that you are on that level, correct?
No way. No way at all. And that's why it's so disappointing to see something like that and say, okay, well, how did they get that rating? And let's get to the bottom of it. But no, for the record, I'm pro Second Amendment. I'm pro guns. I believe in the right to bear arms and no infringement upon bearing arms. Now, if you have mental health issues, do I think you should bear arms? No, but there has to be a proven record of a person that has those kind of things going on. That would.
I'm glad you brought that up, because I think that is a very, very slippery slope. Now, I agree that someone who is dangerously unhinged, let's be clear, someone who has made repeated threats to harm people, they need to be looked at. Absolutely. But who has the power to decide what is and isn't okay as far as mental health issues? How long? Look at anything, right? You start off, give a mouse a cookie. You start off with just a little bit, and next thing you know, ADHD is considered a dangerous mental health condition. So I do agree that there are certain circumstances that we could potentially look at, but it has to be like locked in stone.
Yes. And I'm talking about criminals with records, right, things of that nature. We're talking about criminals with records that have been that have broke the law. Okay, I'm talking about broken the law and violated public safety. That right, kind of stuff. And like you said, it has to be 100%. You can't just assume, or because somebody makes a comment. No, that kind of stuff like that. You can't make an accusation and say, "Oh, that person has mental health. He should not have a weapon." No. There has to be legitimate background information, right, and legitimate legitimized information to be able to prove that that person shouldn't be carrying a firearm.
Right. Because in New York, they're trying to make your social media posts a part of whether or not you can carry a firearm. Let's get real here. I mean, that's what I'm talking about. As far as if you give these people the tiniest little inch, they will turn it into, oh, you posted an anti-government meme, so you're dangerous. That's the kind of stuff that absolutely not. None of that should have any bearing on whether or not you were allowed to defend yourself. Because for me, it comes down to, equalization of force. You can have the biggest, massive guy who, lifts all the time and can throw 300 pounds across the room without breaking a sweat up against a tiny little 5 foot nothing, stay at home mom. And obviously, physicality wise, the big guy's going to win. But if she's armed, it becomes a much more fair fight.
Of course. I'm with you 100% on that. So, yes, for sure. The right to bear arms under the Second Amendment of the Constitution should not be infringed upon, should not be misinterpreted, should not be changed. And I'm 100% pro-gun and pro being able to bear arms.
Tom wants to know if you filled out the questionnaire. You might want to look through and check if you sent it, if you mailed it, or if you, I got the hiccups a little bit. If you emailed it, check through your email, see if maybe the sense, if you can't find it, ask them for another one and get it filled out. Yeah,
that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to actually follow up on the NRA myself, and either if I didn't send that one in, it could have been a possibility. I have a lot of things on my plate. I kind of
I'm with you.
It could have happened. I could have made the mistake and not sent that one in. And one of them, there were many surveys that I received. So
that's one thing that I want to let everybody know.
Right,
when you run for office,
I will find
out. You're going to be inundated with surveys. You're going to be inundated with these websites that are like, hey, sign up here. And you're going to get, sign Ballotpedia and ActiVote and all these Vote 411. There are tons of these websites that they want you to sign up for. And sometimes these things get lost.
There's a lot of it too. There's definitely so much of it. So I've tried to, in every way, organize all of that. But you know what? I'm not perfect. I never said I was. So I'll definitely follow up and find out, or, make sure that I get that one redone and resent in for sure. Yeah. That's going to be a priority for me.
Cool. All right.
But everybody that's listening today here on Dion's Daily Dose, I want you to know for the record that I am pro Second Amendment 100%, and I am pro NRA 100%, and I would never be on the other side of that.
What did you want to be when you grew up? When you were a little kid and you were like, oh, I want to be that. What did you want to be? Did you want to be an astronaut, a fireman?
I wanted to be an attorney.
Really? Okay.
Yes, I wanted to be an attorney, and then I realized, as I was going through school, I was like, wow, did I want to be in school that long? And, not to say it's a great career, but I ended up having a child at an early age. So I had to actually rethink a lot of things that I was doing. So, of course, I still have my political justice, political science. I love, dealing with the social issues of community and those kind of things. I always had a passion for it as a young man. But did I ever get into a career of it? No. So, I would have liked to be a lawyer when I was young, but I ended up going into manufacturing, being in the union for 15 years. Also being an operations manager. So I've had kind of both sides, being a union member for 15 years at Huhtamaki Corporation, where I worked at a paper mill. And then after that, I went to U.S. Steel as an operations manager. So I kind of got a scope of both sides of that. So it was actually a blessing to be able to do work on both sides, management and union. It's awesome because together is how you make it work. You can't make it work.
That was my next question to you. So USW, right? They are very prominent. Obviously, the USW is a very prominent union. Yes. They're huge in the area. What is your and I don't want to get you in trouble. You're still there, right? You still are a union member there?
Yeah, I'm no longer. I'm not with the union anymore because
Okay.
I resigned from that position. So I'm no longer with that company. So of course
Okay.
I still have my union paperwork. I have a union pension as well.
Okay.
But no, am I an actual member working in the union right now? No.
Okay. So the reason I ask is because we have seen traditionally way back, the USW and almost all unions traditionally back Democrats.
Mhm.
That's just the way it is. Do you think that there's been a shift in not necessarily the leadership, because the leadership's going to do that? They choose how the money's spent and all of that. And there are lots of politics involved in that. But the average union member, do you think they're more or less likely to vote the way that their leadership tells them to vote these days?
I actually think they don't. I really believe that, there's a big misconception of the Republican Party and being union versus non-union, or being pro-union versus not. I know I'm pro-union 100%. I believe the unions is a core. It's the core of the middle class. It's the foundation of the middle class. We need to have strong unions in every aspect, from schools to teachers to utilities. Every single aspect of unions is important. I believe there's a misconception of the Republican Party not being I don't know why they even think that, honestly. Like I said, I'm not a career politician. So these are things I'm trying to learn as I go, because.
Well, one thing that I've learned since I started running, and this was told to me by several union guys, is that the Republicans don't even bother reaching out anymore to the unions to get their endorsements, to talk to them, to come and be introduced. Like I actually went to the USW in 2020 when I ran for US Congress, and I didn't get the endorsement, but they really appreciated the fact that I came and talked to them and was willing to go through it. They said, very few Republican candidates even bother reaching out anymore. And I said, well, that's because there's no point. The leadership is going to back Democrats. We know that. Well, that's not necessarily. Name the last Republican you endorsed. Well, yeah. So, but it's on us. It's on the candidates to make that, to reach that hand out, to go to these people and say, hey, excuse me. It's on us to go to these unions and say, hey, we'd like to talk to you. We'd like to explain to you why we're a great choice, whether we get your endorsement or not. A lot of times these people they endorse certain candidates, but don't necessarily vote for them, if you know what I mean.
Right. You know what I've been, this is while I'm out there engaging with the voters and engaging with union members, I'm getting a very, very strong feel that many of them they don't go with what the leadership, of course, endorsing the Democratic candidate. But I believe that the membership is starting to do their research. I don't want to in any way criticize or try to insult anybody's intelligence, but I think that the union workforce, I think these individuals that go to work every day, that work swing shifts, that work all kinds of shifts, they're starting to do their homework. They're starting to realize, wow, how can the Democratic Party be on my side when the Democratic Party is for more regulation on the work that they do? So at the end of the day, more regulation is going to mean some negatives to your job and your union and your companies. So there's many questions that need to be asked by the membership. There needs to be forums and public forums where they can discuss these topics and ask the tough questions. Ask why are you telling me to vote Democrat, and then Democrats are trying to do this, that, and whatever, right? So we're not trying to talk negative about anybody or any party, but we're talking about the issues, we're talking about the agenda, and we're talking about the record. And the record for overregulation and trying to do so many things that are going to affect the way we do business now in manufacturing and steel making and the energy sector, all of those things right now are being under attack. And that's all fact. None of this is made up. None of this is an accusation. This is the Democratic policies that are anti-union, believe it or not, but they're getting the money and the endorsements from the membership and the people. But I think that the union body, the people that I'm speaking of, I really think that they're starting to understand. They're going to start asking more questions. And in the near future, the Republican Party is going to get so much more support from the unions. I really believe that. And I'm willing to discuss those topics with any of my counterparts, any of my Democratic counterparts. I'm willing to have conversations, an open forum in front of your union and your membership. I'm willing to come out and have these discussions. Why? Because I believe that they need to listen to both sides, not just one side, so that they can get the clear picture and make the decision they want to make, especially when it comes to endorsing.
Right. Couple more rapid fire questions. Pepsi or Coke?
You know what? I'm a Pepsi guy. I'm actually a cherry Pepsi guy.
Cherry Pepsi.
Yeah, cherry Pepsi became my favorite. And then, but I do like Coke because I feel it has more of I like the suds or the acidy. For some reason Coke has a little bit more of that. But I'm a Pepsi guy. I got Pepsi's first choice. Coke is second.
Okay, Bears or Colts?
What's that?
Bears or Colts?
Neither one of them. I'm a Denver Broncos fan. I hope nobody hates me, but I'm a Denver Broncos fan. But you know what? When it comes to choosing between the Colts and the Bears, I'll choose the Colts. But I don't know. My brother's a Colts fan, so we're always going back and forth. So
fair enough. Okay, little something with a little bit more meat on it. What is your favorite thing about your district?
You know what? My favorite thing about the district is this being the third largest city that has not been. You know what? This city has so much opportunity. There is so much opportunity with the lakefront. With this district is so diverse culturally. It's so diverse, in so many different ways. I believe that the opportunities for this area, for Portage, for my whole district, the whole District 10, to just come together and start having conversations on what are we going to do to make this a more vibrant, a more there's so many opportunities. I can't even go down the line. I'll talk forever about everything we can do, from business opportunities to, it's making sure public safety and but what I like most about this district is there's so much opportunity to get all of that done. We need to be advocates, and we need to be catalysts of getting things done. There's a lot of talk, but there isn't a lot of work behind it. There has to be action. And I believe that Portage and 10th District and your district, as well as our neighbor, there's opportunity for us to do great things. And I believe we're headed in that direction.
Absolutely. Okay, that brings me to my next question, which is, what industries or investments would you like to see come to the district? There's a lot. I mean, a lot of state dollars. And it keeps getting thrown around in Indianapolis and Kokomo and even, a couple other areas, but not us. We here in Northwest Indiana, we don't see those state dollars. Mm-hmm. What would you like to see brought here that you think we could really benefit from? Either 9th district together.
I believe that we as a district, we have to provide the state why. Why are we worthy of those state dollars coming our way? We have to show the opportunities that are available to Portage. We have to show the value of what it will be like to do business in Portage, the opportunities of land in Portage to be able to do more corporations, manufacturing. We're right here in the Midwest. We are in a hub when it comes to, you got 8094, two of the largest expressways in the Midwest to be able to do business. You have a major airport. You also have an airport in South Bend. This is another opportunity. This district has opportunities to grow business-wise, corporation-wise, bring jobs, bring growth. just you can do so much, in the business aspect because of our location.
Right. And that's something that I've mentioned before. I was a truck driver for about a decade, and this area is so critical infrastructure wise. Like you said, 80, 94, 65, 90. There are so many interstates. You've got the airports there. This is a major transportation hub right through this area. It would be ideal for various logistics companies, but yet we don't get them. We don't see the type of interest that we should have being located where we're located, right by Port of Indiana. I mean, there's so much here, and it's just ignored. But I think that has something to do with who's in charge, but of the area, I mean, they're not going to give Democrats a win. Let's be honest. But if we get some Republican representatives into office here, maybe we can get some of that investment up here.
Yes, exactly. And like you were just saying, when it comes to bringing business to an area or, an area where you are, you have to be able to sell that area to the state. You got to. It's almost like making a commercial of, look, this is what we have in Portage. This is what we can do. We have to be advocates. To be advocates, you need to be a person of action. What that means is you need to go out there. Don't expect the business to find you. You go find the corporations. You go find the businesses, and you showcase your district. And you showcase how your district will be beneficial to that company. And then together, opportunities happen. So I just believe you need to be a person of action. I think that Portage, the 10th district, your district, we have opportunities to do something that we haven't done in many years. And that's to be proactive when it comes to revitalization, infrastructure, growth, business growth, just so many things. But guess what? It's going to take individuals to put in the work because it's not going to come to you. Nothing comes to you. You need to go out there and you need to go get it.
Yep. And that's one reason why I believe we need representatives who understand the district and who are willing to get out there. The incumbents in both of our districts have had multiple terms to get out there and get these businesses, to get the investment, to get the things that would improve the district, and none of it's happening. We're not seeing it. So I think their time has come and gone. Without disparaging anyone, they've had the opportunity. They've squandered the opportunity. It's time to get someone else in that can make a better sales pitch, if you will, like you said, to these companies, to go contact them and say, look, we have an ideal transportation hub, whether it's for Port of Indiana connecting with this or that. I'm not going to give everybody my sales pitch, but you know exactly what I'm saying. And I think that together, a couple of representatives from the same area right next door to each other could really have a positive effect for the entire region.
Definitely. And as you just said, Dion, there needs to be a fresh outlook for Portage. There needs to be breath. I'm not taking away from any of the incumbents, even though I may have my opinion that I don't see progress. I see more regress. I don't see production. I see reduction. Those are just what I see. But what am I going to be able to do? I'm going to go out there and I'm going to put in the work. If I'm blessed with the opportunity to be the representative of this district, I'm going to work with everyone that I possibly can to be able to come together and to be able to grow this district, to be able to build upon this district, to be able to work with you, Dion, and with all of the districts around us, because believe it or not, we are stronger as a region. We are stronger if Gary's stronger. We are stronger if Lake Station's stronger. We are stronger. It's all about working for one another. I think that too many times people get stuck because they become selfish. And this doesn't only happen when it comes to politics, when it comes to people as, just normal people. They just worry about themselves and no one else. But for us to be a stronger community, for us to be a stronger country, we all need to come together, and we need to do it in love. And then together, put all these ideas to work, and let's just see things flourish. But you know what? It's going to take action. It's not going to take words. You have to have action behind it. And that's what I'm glad that, as much as it may be something that, you don't want to say, oh, this person hasn't done anything, or you haven't seen much happen in your community or your area. But guess what that does? That gives you the opportunity to be that person of action. So I look at that as a blessing. Instead of, looking at what another person has done, I just pray blessings upon everyone. And I just hope that they come to realization that there is so many opportunities out there. But Manuel Maldonado, your state representative for District 10, will be a man that's going to work, boots on the ground, and shovel in the ground. You got to get your hands dirty. It's time to go to work for the people. It's enough of politics. Let's start serving as we are supposed to serve. We are elected public servants. We are not doing politics for a pension. We are not doing politics to stay in some kind of political title. We are doing it to serve our communities and to serve the constituents and the voters, and to be accountable to them.
Yeah. So I'm gonna say this for those of you who are watching, who are maybe undecided on District 10. I'm going to give you a little personal story that I had an interaction with the incumbent. There was, when I ran for United States Congress in 2020, I toured a property in Porter. It's Old Porter Road. And this property was a mobile home park that had been bought by new people, and it was absolute chaos. They were demolished homes, that parts everywhere, open sewers. It was a nightmare. So I actually had gotten the number for the incumbent from someone I knew in the state assembly. And I called him and I said, hey man, this is unacceptable. This is going on. I introduced myself, told him who I was. He's like, oh yeah. That's horrible. Let me, I'm actually on vacation right now. Let me give you a call back. I never heard back from him. The people there never heard back from him. This is not an anecdote. This is a personal experience. Me personally, as far as representatives go, I want someone who's going to do the damn job, not tell me, oh, I'll get back to you. So the way I look at it, what's the worst that can happen? You elect someone, they don't do the job, you replace them in 2 years. It's actually pretty easy to get somebody out of office. I think across the region, we need new representation. We need new leaders. Whether you look at them as a leader or not, that's what they do. They go to Indianapolis, they vote on laws that affect all of us. And if these people aren't even willing to take your call, if these people aren't even willing to get back to you, and let me be clear, me, myself, I don't care whether this person got back to me, but I gave them the contact information for a whole nest of voters, a whole bunch of voters that were in deplorable living conditions. And this person didn't even bother to go there. So that's the kind of person that we have as an incumbent. And which is why it's absolutely important that we make some serious changes across the board.
And just to follow up on that, Dion, it's very important. I hope everybody that's listening to us today, I just want you to do something. I just want you to go do your research. Do your own research. Don't listen to a person. Don't listen to social media. Don't do your own research. Hold people accountable. Your elected officials need to be held accountable. As your representative, if I'm blessed with that opportunity, you're going to be able to hold me accountable. There is not going to be any of that. There's going to be complete transparency in my office, or in the office that I'm elected to. That transparency is going to be able to allow the voters to have real engagement with their representative. Nobody wants to be just talking to someone by email and sometimes not even receiving any kind of response or any other way. You need to be able to communicate with that person. That's your job. If you got to make a list to be able to call people back, you make sure you do that. And you get your voters, you get your district, you get them the answers. If you're not able to give them the answer, you go get them the answer, but you do not leave them out there waiting for a response. It is your job. It is your duty to represent your district. And I am ashamed of many of the politicians out there. You know who you are, who have done nothing. All you have done is take a position, sit on a position, and act as if you have a title of some kind, but you have done nothing. You have done nothing to benefit your district. And believe it or not, you can see it. I know that the 10th district is stagnant. It's stale. It needs a fresh outlook in the 10th district. I can't speak for everyone else, but I know what I've seen in 12 years that I've been here. It's time for change. It's time for somebody to come out here that's going to be charismatic, and that's going to show love, and that's going to work with everyone, and that's going to have a diverse way of thinking. That's not going to be one-minded or focused on one way or even focused on your party, my party, but focused on what does my community want? What does the 10th district want from Mr. Maldonado? I'm going to do everything in my power to give them what they want.
Right. And that's what we need. That's what we need all across. And, you know, there's this giant, people are talking about how the Republican Party has changed. You know, the Democrats say it in a negative way, how, you know, Trump has changed the party in a negative way. Many Republicans like myself believe, he's changed the party, but in a positive way. And it has less to do with Donald Trump himself and more to do with the way we've had our eyes opened with many of people in both parties, but even in our own, that have just been there. They haven't done anything. They've just sat there. They have become part of the swamp that we are trying to fight. We need more and more and more regular Americans that are willing and able to open up the halls of power to the people, like it should be, like it used to be, that we can sit and have a discussion like this and involve the viewers and say, hey, you know, we have this bill coming up and we're going to be voting on it. Here's what it is. Let's talk about it. That's what I want from my representative, and that's what I plan on doing. And I think that's how the party has changed. We need more people like that are willing and able to involve the members of the voters, the members of the community, everyone in the decisions that we are authorizing these to make on our behalf.
Exactly. And you know what, Dion? There is no excuse. It is no excuse for those that are in office as we speak that have not done their due diligence for their community, for their district. There's no excuse with the technology that we have, with social media, with every way to communicate. There is no reason why there should be no communication. There is no reason why there shouldn't be no transparency. There is no reason why they cannot even be able to have open streams where they're able to ask their own community, hey, what would you like to see done? Let's talk about this topic right here. How do you guys feel about this topic? Let's get numbers on one way or the other on how you feel about certain topics. There is no reason that this is not being done by individuals that are in office right now. The only reason it isn't being done is because they are not doing their job. And at the end of the day, when you don't do your job, you get fired. So the people make the decisions. As much as I love my district and as much as I would love to be the fresh air that's going to come through this district for 2022, the choice belongs to the people. And there's going to be many on both sides. There's going to be many on the Democratic side, the moderates, the independents. They're going to make the decision to say, do we want the status quo? Do we want the way things have always been? Or do we want something different for Portage? Are we going to give Manuel Maldonado the opportunity to prove us that he's going to listen to us and he's going to work for us? That's all I can do is put that out there. Can I make the decision for them? No, but I can let them know that my word is my bond, and I will do everything that I can to make them understand and see everything in progress as we're doing it and as we are improving as a community and as a district, and we grow together.
Absolutely. So one final thing before we wrap up, because I think it's important in today's political environment. We always hear how the Republican Party is racist, the Republican Party is this, the Republican Party is that. Today is also, aside from being your anniversary, it's the first day of like Hispanic Heritage Month, I think.
Yes.
Let me double check. I want to make sure I get it right. Yes, first day of Hispanic Heritage Month. Now, here's my question to you. As a Republican, as a Hispanic, have you noticed the kind of vitriol that the left is constantly claiming the Republicans are throwing around? Have you noticed that people hate you because you're, a little bit different color skin than I have, or that this person has, or that person has? Or do you feel that the Republican Party has been welcoming you?
I believe that the Republican Party has they've been mischaracterized. There's been a big misconception of the Republican Party. The reason that race and divides in race have always been used by the Democratic Party. If you look back at the history of this country, they will always use race, even though we're making progress. Not to say that there ain't more opportunities for progress. There's always more opportunities, but to always try to use the race as a way to divide this country, as a way to say, you know what? The Hispanics out there, the Latinos, all the different cultures out there in our community, they are intelligent people. They are starting to see, they are doing their homework, and there is a big shift right now in especially with the Hispanics when it comes to being Republican, because they are starting, the values that they want are the values that they've left from harsh times in their country, from the harsh times in Mexico, from the harsh times in Cuba, from the harsh times in many different Latin American states, or Latin countries rather. They know what it's like. They know what socialism looks like. They know what communism looks like. They look over government, what it's called large government. Like the Democratic Party is all about large government, government control. The Republican Party is small government, people control. But I guess people need to do their homework. People are starting to see it, Dion. People are starting to wake up. Believe me, I think that the Hispanic community, the Latin community, it's awesome that they are starting to embrace the Republican Party like they haven't in the past. But that's because there's more information for them to make those decisions rather than people trying to deceive them. Deception is the thing that the Democrats use more than anything, and they use it on their own party and on their own people, on their own voters. They use deception. They try to take the focus off of what they're doing. And what they're doing is usually the race card. It's usually the racism, things of that nature. And they try to say it's the Republicans in order to get the focus off themselves. But people are starting to wake up now, though. I know it's not about party. It's about the people. At the end of the day, it's about us as an American people, as an American community, coming together in love and working together and thriving together.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, thank you very much for coming on the show. I greatly appreciate it. I hope everybody had an opportunity to get to know you a little better. If people want to get involved with your campaign, if they want to door knock, if they want to donate, where should they go? Do you have a website?
Yes, they can go to gowithmaldonado@gmail.com, leave me an email, or also you can also give me you can also go to my Facebook page, Manuel Maldonado for District 10 State House Representative. Very easy to find. Go there. Any questions you may have, if anybody wants any signs, I'm willing to come to you and bring you signs for your home. But if you would like to just reach out to me and have a conversation, get a hold of me by email, and then I will arrange a time so we can have a conversation over the phone. We can speak about it, person to person rather than even by email. So the most important thing is engagement. I think people should be able to engage with the candidates, with the incumbents. They should be able to talk with them, get answers from them. And if they don't get the answers that they're looking for, or even the responses they're looking for, they can make the decisions if that person is a person that they would want to support or be a part of, even working for them. But I would love to have as many people, please email me. We would love to have some people come out and walk. We've been out there knocking on them doors. Those that haven't seen me yet, I'm coming to a community near you, or I'm coming to an area near you in the 10th district. Mr. Maldonado is out there, and you will see me at your door. And if I haven't come to your door, leave me an email and just make a request. I will shift the book and I will go your way, just because you made that personal acknowledgement that I haven't been there yet. And I will get to you, and I will shift the books around while I'm walking, just to make you happy. But I appreciate my district. I love my district, and in love, we can make it happen. Dion, you've been amazing. Thank you for the opportunity to talk with you today. It's been an honor. This is a man that I know together, me and him will work hard for this community. We will work hard for these two neighboring districts to be able to get work done for the people of these districts. I'm excited about that, and I just pray that we get the opportunity to work for you guys.
Absolutely. I appreciate you coming on the show, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you. God bless.
You too. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Manuel Manny Maldonado. He is running again for District 10 for state representative, which is just to the west of District 9, but oddly enough. That's Porter, it's Valpo. It kind of curves around a little bit. Valpo is more like Soliday, but you can look it up. He covers quite a bit of area. Matter of fact, before I let you go, let me throw my glasses on real quick so I can see, and we'll look it up together. I meant to do this earlier and I forgot. So let's do this. By the way, I have found Ballotpedia to be the best. Let's see here. There it is. If you put in Ballotpedia Indiana Redistricting 2022, this is the one that pops up, the redistricting in Indiana, the first thing. Let me share the screen with you again so you can see it. There we go. Right here, redistricting in Indiana, if it'll ever pop up. I found that to be the best site for finding out where, like, what rep is yours. If you scroll down, you'll get to the part where it says redistricting after the 2020 census. You've got your congressional districts. They changed a little bit. You've got your state. Now your state Senate, and then state house. You want to go to state house for us. And then if you look, whoops, this is 9. This is me, right? This is 10. Now let's go ahead and zoom in, and you'll be able to see. You can click and drag it around, and it's a side-by-side of how to be, right? Now, previously, for some reason, it didn't include any of the lake, but now it does. But you can see here, Chesterton, even though the name is right here, see, this is 9, this is me, this is 10. This is the old one, and this is the new one. So as you can see, it goes all the way south of 49 now, Long Lake, South Haven, Portage, Burns Harbor, Dune Acres, all of that is, all of that is his district. So if you're anywhere in this red box now, he is who you will be on your ballot when you go to ballot in November. From Dune Acres up here, Garrison, Portage, Willow Creek, McCool, Babcock, Long Lake, South Haven, all these areas is what he covers. So there you go. If he is in your district, or I should say if you're in his district, look him up. Ask him the questions that matter to you, because that's what we're for. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it. And without further ado, God bless you. God bless Indiana. And God bless the United States.